Hey everybody, welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, your only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports here on the shore. I'm Sports Director Brandon Bosser.
What's up? It's your Shirley Sports anchor, Devin J. Martin. Welcome into the show. We got a special edition of the Delmarva Sports Insider coming right to you.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to get to all the action tonight. Plenty of games taking place, and all the games we're able to get in tonight.
Oh yeah,
that was something that we weren't sure was going to happen because we got a storm on the way.
Oh yeah, and I think that's the biggest story of the entire weekend. Luckily, all the games happened. We've got a whole bunch of highlights coming your way before we take a quick break.
That's right, and it's such a big story that we've got the star of the night, Chief Meteorologist Rich Wardzik, standing by. He's going to let us know what's going on right now. Take it away, Rich.
Yeah, Brandon, I guess some good news. The timing worked out great with this, that we were able to get the games in before the worst of the weather has come. And a lot of this is going to be happening here while you sleep and tomorrow morning specifically. So easy to tell here on this radar picture, just a slug of tropical moisture that's moving south to north. The center of Ophelia, a tropical storm just off the coast of North Carolina. I'm going to get to that here in just a bit. I want to give you an update on what's happening here. We've had some lighter rain come through, but these bands coming into Accomack County here, Chincoteague, and eventually into Somerset and Worcester counties, that is heavier rain, and that's also going to come with heavier or higher wind gusts. So looking at tonight's forecast moving forward, the rain intensities will pick up. Those of you watching in Delaware, it's going to take a little longer to get into heavier rain, but everyone will get in on it here late tonight. Winds inland will gust over 40 miles per hour at times, and along the coast, 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts through tomorrow morning. Brandon and Devin will talk about what I expect here for our Saturday and the threat potentially for tornadoes as well that's coming up.
Potential for tornadoes.
Wow.
Okay, well,
wow.
We can't wait to hear about that, Rich. But we're going to get into the sports coverage right now. We're going to begin with the matchup of the night in Delaware. Smyrna visiting Salesianum, the first in-state game for Smyrna. And after this one, I think we have to temper our expectations for the Eagles just a bit.
Yeah, this was Smyrna's first game against in-state competition, as you just said, and Sally's was ready for the defending champs.
They sure were.
BJ Eileen was a monster for the Sal's tonight. Here he is setting up the first Salesianum touchdown. Eileen scored twice tonight. Smyrna still hasn't scored. As we entered the fourth quarter, the defending champs were definitely on the ropes. They finally get on the board thanks to an earthquake jump pass. Dylan Wessel on the reception, and he is loose. Smyrna trails 14-6 with time winding down.
Yeah, Mike Judy's always got something up his sleeve. Salesianum would score twice more in the game, including a strip sack that was returned to the house with 7.5 minutes to go. That was Jacob Tiberi finding Kamaj Kearney for the final score of the game. And that was it. 28-12 was the final score.
Wow.
So at this point, I was listening to the Delaware High School football podcast. They said there's three 3A teams that are contenders: Middletown, Dover, Smyrna. You got to put Salesianum in that discussion.
Absolutely. After
and
that win.
I'm not sure if Smyrna's not the fourth best team as of right now.
Yeah, they've had obviously some struggles against some out-of-state teams, their first in-state opponents that they also take an L to. So they still haven't won a game so far on this season. But again, their competition level has been extremely high, so we'll see things hopefully pick back up for them as the season goes on.
Right. And now let's move on to Sussex Central hosting a 2A school at the Castle tonight. Offense at a premium. The Golden Knights welcoming in DMA, and that Seahawk offensive line giving Central fits early on as they held a 7-6 lead after the first quarter, but the Knights offense settling in the second half. They took a 17-7 lead into the break. That's all she wrote. The Knights take it over DMA. No offense in the second half. I got to say, not too impressed with Sussex Central. 17-7 winners over a 2A school after that 41-0 loss to Middletown.
But you know what they say, a win is a win. A win is a win.
So a win is I'm sorry, it wasn't 41-0. It was 41-7. Central did get on the board in that game. But right now I would say they're a tier 2 team in 3A.
Yep, but again, you got to take the W's when you can get them so far, and I think that's what Central is going to tell themselves as they keep moving forward. Now, we're going to stay in the Henlopen. Another team that has shown some serious threats this year to other contenders, this time in the 1A, is Indian River. They have teams on notice. They played Polytechnic Polytech today, and this game was a really good one. Now, Indian River and Polytech on the windy afternoon. Who's going to come out on top, Brandon? Let's find out. Now, Javion Chandler is going to get things rocking for IR in the first quarter. He runs up the gut, breaks a few tackles. This man is going to put the defense in his rearview mirror. Chandler goes all the way to the house for 6 points. The Panthers, though, they're not done. They answer back with 6 points of their own, moving to the fourth. IR is up 7-6. So this is a really, really close game. Plenty of games tonight that were actually really close. But Poly was looking for the deep pass, and you see they air it out. But Darnell Stokes comes up with the ball. That's an interception. He takes it to the house.
Nice
pick
move.
6. IR goes up 14-6. And you know what's better than one pick 6, Brandon?
What's that?
2 pick 6s.
2.
Polytech tries to air it out one last time. And Stokes, he comes up with it yet again. He was
away from him.
You got to stay away from that side of the field. He was waiting. That's another pick 6 on the stat sheet. That might be your player of the week right there. I mean, 2 interceptions, 2 pick 6s, one game. I can't remember the last time that's happened.
Stokes Island over there.
Yeah, it sure is. And they take the W 25-14. It was a great game for Indian River.
We was messing up on offense, and I told all my teammates we had to dig deep, and they dig deep, and look what happened, man. Came up on top. Hey, don't sleep on us, man. Don't sleep on us.
Hey, we ain't sleeping on you anymore.
Yeah, they're looking really good.
You beat St. Elizabeth last week, and then you come out and beat Polytech, who has looked like a pretty good team so far this year. I believe they were 2-0 for the first time since 2013.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that's a really good win for Indian River. As we've mentioned, every time we talk about the 1A, Laurel's gone. Seaford's not as good,
right.
And they're able to take down St. Elizabeth as well. Indian River, a lot of their biggest threats are obviously out of the division, or they were able to be better than them so far. And again, it's still very early on in the year, but Indian River is really showing some true mettle as of right now.
All right, now to the 2A. Laurel looking to show that they belong with the elites in their new class. They welcomed in Caravel, who's the state runner-up from last year. Bulldogs grabbing a loose ball right here deep in Caravel territory as they drive into the red zone. Final minute before halftime. Senior Bradley Lopez Vasquez in to attempt the field goal with 3 seconds right down Broadway. Laurel gets on the board heading into halftime. We've seen a lot of successful kickers in our area this year. This was one of the most successful runs all night for Laurel. Patrick Bell up the middle for a first down, but that just tells you how bad it was. Caravel's defense is legit. Watch that nose guard, James Steele, meeting the back immediately. This is the same defense that held Friends to just 10 points in the title game last year. We remember how good that Friends offense was, led by Robbie Tattersall. They're as good as advertised once again as they hold Laurel to just 3 points tonight.
Yeah, this is definitely not the 1A. Laurel's definitely had to make some adjustments moving up to the second class, being a 2A school. And today might have been the biggest adjustment game that they faced so far. Obviously, they lost to Central, who's a 3A school, but getting shut down and held to 3 points at home, that is something that they're definitely, Coach Joey Jones and the rest of his team is definitely going to have to look at on the drawing board.
All right, now let's move on to some final scores. First State Military Academy has now started 3-1. Their only loss was by 3 points against Charter earlier this season. So this team looks like they're legit with Philip Price at quarterback. Efficient with the football. Mark Lawrence has been shredding up defenses. Both are juniors, by the way, so they're going to be perhaps even better next year. Cape Henlopen, 48-7 winners over Lake Forest. Cape is 3-0, but all 3 games are against 2A schools.
Wow.
I don't know whether or not I'm proud of Cape. You're 3-0.
Or is it the schedule?
Yeah, 3 2A teams. But don't see that too often.
48-7 though. That is still an
that's a nice
win.
Let's see how you do against 3A competition. We'll know how good Cape is in a few weeks when they play Central. All right, we've got a few games coming up tomorrow. We've got Milford at Del Castle, Woodbridge at Howard, Delmar at Friends. I think that Woodbridge-Howard game is going to show us just how good the Blue Raiders are.
Yeah, because obviously 2 years ago they were really, really, really good. Last year, really, really, really bad. Now they're in the middle. Hopefully they're back to that really, really good
Unbeaten,
stage.
we'll see how good they are.
We will see. Now let's go to the Bayside. Brandon, I just came from a great big 1A
sure
battle
did.
up in Federalsburg.
You were telling me about
it was fantastic. I can't wait to show you guys the highlights. The Colonels taking on Cambridge South Dorchester,
And an
2
even
1A
better
rivals.
ending.
Oh, I think the greatest
Stay tuned
ending
for this
that
ending.
I have seen so far. Now we're going to jump right into the fourth quarter. Colonels are down 7-6. The Vikings making a late game push to try to put this game away. Again, they're up 7-6 on the Colonels. Now Antonio Bluford makes the play in man coverage, looking like Terrell Owens, Randy Moss getting the pass on the one-on-one. Vikings get on the 5, and then QB Blake LaBelle for the Vikings calls his own number, dives in for 6. Vikings pull ahead 13-6 with 3:30 remaining. So if you could do the math, that's a 7-point score. Colonels respond, though. They make a quick drive down the field, and as you see, 2:20 left in the game. Derek Mitchell finds a seam to put the Colonels within 1. Colonel is bold, though. Now, most teams, they just go for the extra point, send it to overtime. Exactly. That's exactly what they do. They go for the win. They go for 2. And
look at that push from the offensive line.
Sure is. Colin Brewer takes it up the gut, breaks the plane. You see the refs say that he's good. Colonel pulls ahead 14-13 with 2 minutes to go. Now the Vikings try to outclutch the Colonels. Jaden Ferguson gets a short pass, and he goes down the sideline. He's going to take it to the house. Maybe he cuts it back up the seam, right up the middle, but he gets chased down.
Turn on the Jets.
He needed that extra separation. He gets to the 10-yard line, but he can't score right there. Again, the Vikings still have a minute left. They decide not to go for the field goal on 4th down, 45 seconds left. LaBelle has a man open, but he drops the pass. He drops the pass. They lose 14-13, 50 seconds left. You see the disappointment on LaBelle's face right there.
Great win for Colonel.
Tough loss for Vikings. A great game overall.
I think our team squeezes. That's the motto we got in the locker room. That's the motto we got at practice, film room. We're all locked in, squeeze. And, man, our coach is going for 2. Brilliant decision, man, because a field goal would have tied it. Overtime, that's more stressful. We decided to go for 2, make it easy on ourselves, and, hey, some people have been saying Colonel ain't got a power back. I think that's me.
We've been tested, so I just told them, hold their composure. We've been tested. We can get through this.
James Jackson's kids, great stuff out there. Decatur and Snow Hill, battle of unbeatens. Kareem Bolden gets the Hawks started off right on the opening kickoff. Watch as he goes down the sidelines. This is the difference maker that Decatur got in the offseason as he came over from Seaford. He is dynamic. Bryson Coleman keeps it himself right here on the short touchdown run. Offsides penalty on the conversion. Decatur goes for 2. Hawks up 15-0 in the middle of the first. Jameen Purnell with a great run. Going to keep his balance for Decatur. And the Hawks go up 22-0. Brogan Eastlack, we saw him kicking the field goal there. One of the best field goal kickers in the area, 23 yards. Bryson Coleman finding Tribe Wise, 32-0. Then sophomore Johnny Hobgood gets in the game and finds Ethan Bradshaw for the touchdown. Decatur winning 39-0. Hey, this is no indictment on Snow Hill. They're also a fantastic team down in 1A.
Yeah, but Decatur may just be on a completely different level.
Definitely.
Now, meanwhile, at County Stadium, there was not that much offense in this game. Queen Anne's led 3-0 going into halftime against Bennett. They take it in a 16-0 win. Hey, again, as I said earlier, a win is a win. They win 16-0 over Bennett. Bennett, one of the worst teams in the Bayside. Queen Anne's, they're trying to recapture some of that magic from last year.
Yep.
So they'll take the W. Maybe wanted to put a few more points on the board.
Yeah,
but again,
I'm kind of surprised by Queen Anne's offense so far this year. Definitely not the same high-powered offense. Now we move on to a game from last night. And if you love defense,
you got to
come to the right place.
You sure did. Now, both teams had stout defensive unit. That's Y-High versus North Carolina. This was scoreless until the final minute of the first half. Now, Nasai Bell kicks it over to Zymir Smith, 35 yards to the score. Now, Y-High trying to get something going. You see that beautiful pass right there. And they try to get, the Tribe try to get something going with 30 seconds left at midfield. But Takai Hugie, you're going to see shortly on your screen, he's going to take the sack right there, or try to avoid the sack and try to make something out of nothing on some Brett Favre, Eli Manning type stuff. But there was no David Tyree waiting downfield.
There was not a David Tyree.
It was actually Tyson Weber waiting for him, and he would take it back for the 6-point pick six. Bulldogs go up 14-0 at halftime. It was a tough break, but the Y-High defense keeps them in the game. Now, big fourth down takeaway in the third right there. Deflection is picked off by Mikhail Ingram. Now, to the fourth quarter, Y-High would finally get on the board. Hughie's pass, he throws it, and he's got a lot of air time. I thought Nasai Bell was going to be able to pick it off right here.
Oh, beautiful.
But it was a beautiful dime that makes it 14-7 to go. Too little too late, though. North Carolina wins 14-7.
All right, now let's move on to some other final scores around the Bayside. Kent Island, 35-0 winners over Easton. Bucks are 3-0. But I talked to head coach Sofanowski the other night. He's still unsure about what Kent Island is right now. Only has 2 returning offensive linemen or 2 returning players on offense, 5 returning on defense. Still not sure, but they are 3-0. And Parkside, 55-6 winners over Kent County. Parkside gets their first win. All right, that'll do it for the A block. We're calling our first timeout, but when we return, we are going out to the pitch. Who are the early season contenders in soccer? That's coming up next on DSI.
Hello, this is Toby Peer. I'm the head football coach at Cambridge South Dorchester High School. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.